Today we're going to talk a little bit about some of the options you may have when you're transitioning your child at age 3. The first being preschool special education services. We talked a little bit about the federal law, the IDEA law, and the provisions for early intervention. I want to go a little bit more in depth about preschool special education for children ages 3 through 5 and the provisions in IDEA that govern the programs and services that your child may be accessing at ages 3 to 5. If you choose preschool special education, each child, by the law, must be evaluated. And IDEA states that a child must be evaluated, and this evaluation should never be based on just one procedure or test. Law also requires that the evaluation be conducted in the child's native language or mode of communication. So if your child is deaf, that may mean sign language or however else your child communicates. If your child is Spanish speaking, that means that the evaluation should be done in Spanish. It should cover all areas that your child may have a suspected disability, such as medical, psychological, social, emotional, vision, or hearing. If you want to share information that your child may have coming out of early intervention, Babies Can't Wait, or any evaluations that you may have gotten from outside entities, therapists or whatever, know that you can share that. However, please know that school systems are not required to follow or adopt the recommendations made particularly in those reports. Georgia Department rules and regulations are based upon the federal IDEA rules and regulations, and these regulations list the specific categories listed above. These are used for children receiving special education services. However, most frequently, a young child is categorized as severely developmentally delayed, or SDD. But to use this particular category, a child's initial eligibility must be established and an IEP written and in place on or before that child's 7th birthday. The school staff is responsible for inviting all of the team members, letting you know far enough in advance so that you can attend the meeting, let you know what's going to be discussed at the meeting, what the purpose of the meeting is, and who's going to be there. If need be, you can attend this meeting by phone. You can participate by phone, or you may ask them to reschedule the meeting at a time that is more appropriate for you, or whether that be at noon during your lunch hour or after your work schedule. If you don't have childcare for your child, you may bring your child with you if that's the only way that you can attend. Remember, you're a member of this team, and it's important that you attend and participate. So what happens at this meeting? Well, here are some of the things that the IEP team must discuss. What your child does well, what his or her strengths and their needs are, what your concerns are for your child's education, and this includes your priorities for your child and your concerns, and these need to be taken seriously. The results of the evaluation must be discussed, and they must be discussed in a way that you can understand, so someone that can interpret the evaluation should be there. Your child's needs, both academic and functional. And functional skills are those that refer to routines or activities of everyday living. That would be such as your child's ability to dress themselves or feed themselves. Also, the services that your child needs should be discussed. They will also consider if your child has a unique need that may be related to communication, assistive technology, vision, behavioral needs. All of these things that are necessary supports for your child to learn must be included in your child's IEP. Remember to write down your questions, your hopes, your dreams, and your notes, and take these to your meetings. As you remember, if your child had an IFSP through Babies Can't Wait, it's also the same. A parent must give permission and consent in order for services on the IEP to begin. However, the focus of the IEP is quite different than the IFSP was. It's quite different being in the school system than it was in Babies Can't Wait. The IFSP was designed to be family-focused, coordinated, and comprehensive, and inclusive of goals and services to address not only the child's but the family needs. The IEP is different. It's designed to focus on academic and functional performances and special education and related services for your child. So, if the IFSP had goals that was related to services that supported your family, which included the parents and siblings or whomever, the IEP will focus on what your child needs to receive an appropriate education. Another thing that you'll need to consider is related services. That will be listed on your child's IEP if they are needed. Related services are those services that are provided if they are needed to help a child benefit from special education. Few children need all of the related services that might be available, but some of them include transportation and other services like speech-language pathology, occupational therapy, audiology, or psychological services, and there's more. Let's talk a little bit about placement options for your preschool special education child. There are a variety of placement options that you may have for a preschool student. Your child's IEP would really consider a full continuum of options when making placement decisions for a preschool child with a disability. There are the general early childhood programs in public schools such as Head Start, Bright from the Start, Pre-K, public or private daycare, and other preschool programs. There's also the option of placing in a separate special education program housed in a public school or a community-based setting. Placements in a separate school or residential facility as necessary. Services in the home or natural environment for a young child may be an option. Services at the office of a service provider is also possible, and any combination of what I just spoke of would all be considered based on your child's needs and what is on that child's IEP. So let's talk a little bit about Head Start. That is certainly an option for some children. It's a federally funded comprehensive child care program that's been around since about 1965. It actually consists of two programs: the regular Head Start program and then something called Early Head Start. Eligibility for Head Start is based largely on income. It's 100% of the federal poverty level, but there are other eligibility criteria for children with disabilities. Up to 10% of any funded Head Start program's enrollment can be over income for families or of children with disabilities or families experiencing emergency situations. And all programs provide a full service for children with disabilities. Children with an IEP can still participate in Head Start services and still receive their preschool special education services based on that child's unique needs. Do know that some Head Starts, though, only start the programs and children are only enrolled at the beginning of the school year. So if your child turns 3 during a particular school year, they may have to wait until the next beginning of the Head Start year in order for them to be enrolled. You need to check with your local Head Start to find out when they enroll children. Some Head Starts, I know, in the Middle Georgia area do accept children during the school year, so it really does depend on your local Head Start. Know that Head Start is at no cost to families, and children must be eligible by September 1st in most cases. child care centers. There's an array of different kinds of child care centers in local communities. Regular child care centers is where child care is provided for 19 or more children less than 18 years of age, and they last less than 24 hours per day. There's also something called a family child care center, and that is where child care is provided for 3 to 6 children for pay in the provider's home. A group child care center would be a group child care home. Is where group child care is provided for up to from 7 to 18 children for less than 24 hours per day. Often children with an IEP can receive special education services and supports in their child care program, but you need to talk with the schools ahead of time and the child care center to see how this works in your particular area. Sometimes if parents work, a child may be able to attend a preschool special education program at a local school system for part of the day and then go to a child care center, and then if there's transportation available. But know that usually this only works when the school and this child care center are in the same district. It's probably not going to work if your child care center is in a different school district than where your child will be attending school. So you need to assure that that is the case when you decide where your child is going to child care. Another option is Georgia Lottery Pre-K. This is not an option for 3-year-olds. The child must be 4 years old at least by September 1st, on or before September 1st, and in order to be able to go to the preschool programs in Georgia. They are welcome. Children with disabilities are welcomed into the preschool classroom. However, if you're considering pre-K as an option for you, know that you must register your child early. A lot of times these slots fill up very fast, and sometimes it means even waiting in lines or participating in a lottery in order to get into a pre-K program. So you may not get into the first pre-K program that you choose. You may have to choose another one if yours is already, if you're the one that you chose already has the slots filled up. Make sure that the preschool program that you choose is in the same county or school system where you live, so that if your child has an IEP, that can be administered in that particular pre-K program. So, as we near the end of this training, let's think back on what we've talked about. We talked about the keys to a smooth transition, which are pre-planning, communication and participation, which means that you're going to communicate back and forth with the program that your child may be transitioning into, and participating in the meetings and in your child's educational process. Shared information and trust, and being an empowered parent. On the slide are just some of the ways you can continue to gain knowledge and get involved. I'm sure you can think of others that aren't on the slide. If it's a good idea to, as your child starts their school process or their school life, you start a communication notebook so that you can communicate back and forth with the teacher. You can write notes and send to the teacher at school, who can then again write notes and send them back home with you. That way you'll know what's going on with your child. This is a great way for you to keep in touch with what's going on with your child during the day. If things aren't going well with the IEP, it's okay to ask for another IEP meeting if you have concerns about your child's development and if they're not meeting their goals. You can talk with your local school system about this if this happens. Share information from your child's doctors and or private therapists as things come up. It would help the program staff better understand your child and what is happening with them, and working with their own unique needs. But remember, there are other places to transition besides just the preschool special education program. There are other options out there for you. Remember what your priorities are, your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations, your visions for your child. Don't let anyone talk you out of those. and don't let anyone tell you that you only have one option for your child. Planning ahead and being involved in all aspects of your child's transition will certainly result in a smoother transition from one program to another, and it will be better for you and your family and help alleviate any breaks or interruptions in service. So, there's many times that you may need more information about things, and you can certainly go back and watch these videos again if you want to, but there are also a lot of other resources out there. But we would like to suggest that you call Parent to Parent, and here's the 800 number on the screen if you need to write that down. And also, it's a good idea if you go to the Parent to Parent website. It's a statewide organization with offices, staff, and volunteers throughout the state. Families can either call or access Parent to Parent via the web, however you want to do it. Here are some of the programs that Parent to Parent have. They have a special needs database that has over 5,000 resources in over 140 categories, and you can search it online, and these are continually being updated so that new information is being added. There's a roadmap to success. It's easy to navigate. It's an online system of the major topics that you may need to find out about. It's made up entirely by families, so it's very family friendly. There's other supporting parents that you can talk to with Parent to Parent. Call and say that you would like to talk with another family about what your child's disability is, and they can match you with a supporting family or parent. One-on-one assistance. If you call Parent to Parent and have a question, many times they can give you assistance. Maybe even helping you with preparing for your IEP or other things that you may need help with along your child's educational goals. There are free trainings that are given throughout the state. You can also call Parent to Parent and ask that you would like to have a free training in your area. All kinds of online opportunities you can find through looking at the Parent to Parent website. They have webinars, social media, including Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, and other areas. Just look at the website and see what they have available for you. And again, thank you so much for learning with us today. We hope that it's been good information and hope that you will visit us again.